Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is a Wednesday. It is the 15th day of January. Today's National Bagel Day. I like bagels. Hardly ever have bagels, though.
No, we
but
don't.
I do like bagels. It's also National Booch Day. I don't know what that is.
What is booch?
Booch. It's also National Hat Day and National Strawberry Ice Cream Day. Do you like strawberry ice cream?
I do. Yeah.
What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Bubblegum.
Bubblegum, yeah. So right here, I just looked to see Kavita founded National Booch Day last year to celebrate kombucha and the love of the effervescent bubbly drink.
Okay.
So National Booch Day is a day to celebrate by drinking kombucha.
All right.
Do you like kombucha?
I do.
Well, you could celebrate. Also, we're all going to celebrate because today is a special day with my guest as well. I've got a pretty cool dude I'm going to be chatting with, Rob Belushi. He's the new host of a new show on the Game Show Network called GetAClue. And if that name sounds familiar, Rob Belushi, it's because his dad is famous. Jim Belushi is his father. John Belushi was his uncle. We're going to chat with him about a lot of fun stuff coming up in a bit right here on the John and Heidi Show.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A study published in the Journal of Behavior found that people who second-guess themselves make worse decisions than people who just go with their gut. I second-guess myself once in a while. No, I don't. Yes, I... No. See what I did there? You ever second-guess yourself?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you do. She does all the time. So they're saying that we're supposed to just quit doing that and go with your gut, and then we'll be, making better decisions. So we'll get back to you on that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At BetterCreditCards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A Michigan man faces up to 18 years in prison after his conviction for selling heroin and fentanyl. That's not a good thing to be doing. Don't do that. Denzel Washington. Yeah, Denzel Damon Washington. 27 years young. Convicted.
Not the Denzel.
No, it's a different one. He was convicted of delivery of heroin to a drug-free zone, possession with intent to sell heroin in a drug-free zone, possession with intent to sell fentanyl in a drug-free zone, and simple possession of marijuana, probably also in a drug-free zone. Knoxville police learned that Mr. Denzel Washington, not the famous guy.
Not my Denzel.
He was in a little bit of trouble. This all happened a while back here. He produced a bag of heroin and fentanyl from inside the back of his pants. One part of the solution to the overdose epidemic is to stop the flow of drugs like heroin and fentanyl into the community, said the district attorney. Taking these drugs off the street helps save lives. So February 21st is when he goes in for sentencing. So total fines over $300,000. Wow. It's expensive to be a drug dealer.
It is.
Yeah, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs. You can read this story about Denzel Washington, not the famous one, on the page Time4Rehab.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Ellen DeGeneres is teaming up with Fox to bring her recurring The Masked Singer spoof to a full-fledged reality show spinoff. The Masked Dancer will follow a similar format to The Masked Singer, but it'll be a person like dancing instead of singing. We watched a little bit of her show, The Game of All Games, or whatever it's called. What was it called?
I don't like game shows, though.
Was it
anyway.
called
I'm not
The
a
Game of
show
All
person.
Games?
I don't know what it was called.
She's saying, not a game show person, as we're talking to a guest today from the Game Show Network.
I just am not I don't like game shows.
Who does,
It's
though?
Not a,
Who in this room likes game shows?
you do.
I
You are
know
a
I do.
Nut for game
I love game
shows. They're
shows, so-
so stupid.
She's not a fan. Justin Bieber announced on Instagram that he has Lyme disease and chronic mono. And here's the
that's
weird
too bad.
part of that story. 400,000 people liked it. Are you supposed to like something when somebody says, "Hey, I'm sick. I got all these problems." Like? No, that's not the right response.
What are they supposed to do?
I don't
Sad
know.
face?
Maybe post sorry to hear that or something. Liking it just seems weird. This is Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Amid increasing tough U.S. labor market, Taco Bell is betting a higher salary will help attract workers to keep them on the team. The chain will test a new, you ready for this? $100,000 salary in select restaurants in the Midwest and Northeast where they're struggling to get people to take those positions because they're like, hey, it's a great opportunity. And they're like, yeah, there's a lot of jobs out there and there's a lot of money out there. So people are leaving and going elsewhere. And they think, hey, this could actually help us keep some of these people. So this is one of two Taco Bell stories for today. The second one is later in the program.
Alrighty.
It's part of the moment of duh. So this one's probably the better story. New York Times columnist Paul Krugman tweeted that a hacker used his IP address to download child pornography. Sure they did.
Yep.
So, or you got caught and then you're like, it wasn't me, it was a hacker. The San Francisco 49ers have enlisted the NFL. We're not sports people. I can barely even say this. They've enlisted the NFL's first ever emotional support dog to help players deal with stress. Zoe is a tiny French bulldog, and she's like the new mascot as of last week for the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And weird story. Los Angeles coroner ruled that a sidewalk Superman suffocated to death after he crawled inside of a mailbox while he was high on meth.
Oh.
So I want to make sure kids understand, this is not the real Superman. This is just a fake Superman who was dressed like Superman.
But that's also very concerning that those are the kinds of people that are out on the streets.
So he was all hopped up on meth, climbed inside a mailbox, and then
Yikes.
suffocated while in there. So, fun fact, Heidi, this is one of two Superman stories we have today.
Okay.
Our second one is actually our fun fact for today. We have,
All right.
but that's about the real Superman. And one final story, maybe we'll get to two, but at least one more. Charmin, toilet paper people, they unveiled a robot. This is such a... Is there a need for this? They unveiled a robot at the CES. That's the Computer Electronics Show.
Okay.
I thought it was the Consumer Electronics Show.
I don't know.
It's typed out as Computer Electronics Show, but I think they got that wrong. I'm pretty sure it is Consumer Electronics Show. Either way, they unveiled a robot that will bring you a new roll of toilet paper if you run out while you're, indisposed. Wouldn't that robot need to be able to open doors? I mean, at a certain point, wouldn't it just make more sense to leave the toilet paper somewhere you can get to it?
It would make more sense, yes.
They also, at Charmin, created, I'm not even kidding, this stuff is real. They created an alert system that tells you if the bathroom smells before you go in there. What?
Why would you need this?
I don't know. They also unveiled a virtual reality porta potty that allows you to have surround sound and a headset so you can keep watching shows while you're using
Oh my
the
gosh.
facility.
This is getting
Charmin,
out of control.
calm down. Nobody needs all this stuff. But if you think you do, I've got a link to it. It's just silliness. It's all in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit right now with Rob Belushi, and he is the host of a new program on Game Show Network called GetAClue. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing so well. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're excited to visit with you. Now, a lot of folks are going to hear that last name and go, that last name sounds familiar. Your dad is Jim Belushi, very, very funny guy. What is it like to kind of live in the shadow of a famous dad and a famous uncle? That's got to be fun, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. You know, those guys are... They're pretty successful. I have tremendous respect for their work. The biggest pressure, though, is living under the shadow of Sandy Belushi, my mother. I'm her only child, so, you know, that comes with its own ball of wax. Shout out to Sandy. Love you.
That's awesome. Now, the thing that's really neat, I had a chance to watch a little sneak preview of GetAClue. This is a really cool game show, and I got to tell you, that set looks like it's from the future, man.
Thanks. Yes, I definitely said I will only do a game show in the year 3050. So if you can make that happen, then I'm in. And you know what? Game Show Network delivered.
Well, it looks fantastic. Now, let's talk about the premise for GetAClue, the new game show on Game Show Network.
We're every day at 3 p.m. Central on the Game Show Network, and we had a great premiere, so I want to thank everyone who tuned in. GetAClue is a fast-paced game of giving and guessing clues for a chance to win $10,000. It's 2 teams of 4 people each, having a word that they have to give clues to the next person in their group without saying the word or saying sounds like or, singing or anything like that. And it all really kind of relies on working together, listening, and communicating for a common goal. And when everyone's aligned and working, it's super satisfying. And when the wheels kind of fall off, it's pretty fun to watch what people do when their mind is in panic.
And I got to tell you, I discovered something by watching this program. I am not very smart because everybody on there has better clues than I could think of. I'm like, yeah, I would do terrible at this game.
Oh, me too, man. I would probably, I'd be like, mustard. It's mustard. I'd just repeat the same thing over and over.
So,
it's funny to watch, it's funny to watch when someone thinks their clue is perfect, but it's just outside of the frame of reference for the person they're talking to, and that expectation disconnect is really fun. People do some strange and fun things.
So now, how far ahead are you on producing this? Is it a live show, or is it produced in advance, or how far ahead are you working right now?
Oh, we're really far. We've taped them all at this point, and they're I think almost done putting them all together. We shot them a couple months ago, and they've been producing them ever since. So we tape these shows, and but it's in front of a live audience, so it's the feeling, the energy is very similar.
So I've always wondered, when you're filming in front of a live audience like that, and you've got multiple episodes, do you record a bunch of episodes in front of the same audience, or is there a whole new audience when there's new contestants too?
Yeah, we switch them out. I mean, sometimes we'll do 2 with the same audience, just because we shoot them pretty quickly, and it makes for a short day. But we like the audience to be fresh, and I like working in front of new people. So part of my job is getting the audience on board, getting the contestants feeling comfortable, keeping the energy up, and trying to create a space for everyone to have a good time, and maybe let me give them some money. That's my favorite thing to do. We've got lots of fun game shows on the network with lots of great hosts like Joey Fatone, Alfonso Ribeiro, John Michael Higgins. It's a fun place to hang out for a while.
And now Rob Belushi as well, one of the hosts on Game Show Network. His program, GetAClue, that's who we're talking to right now, Rob Belushi. And have you been a game show fan for a long time, or is this something that's kind of new to you?
Of course. I mean, gosh, game shows are generally on when you come home from school. So when I was little, I would watch them frequently. I remember the first one I desperately wanted to be on was a show called Double Dare on Nickelodeon.
Oh, yeah.
And Yeah, it's like families compete with weird obstacles and activities. And when they called me at Game Show Network, I was like, hey, is there any way on GetAClue I could crawl through a giant peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And they were like, absolutely not. And I was like, I'm still interested.
It's called GetAClue. It's a really fun show. It's on Game Show Network. I'll throw all of the information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Want to make your sweetheart smile next month for Valentine's Day? Find some fun, matching shirts at funkymonkeyshirts.com. We have a whole collection of fun shirts for you lovebirds.
My wife rocks.
My man rocks.
We also have many silly shirts that will make you smile any day of the year.
My ex-wife was a trophy wife.
Participation trophy.
Find something fun for a loved one, friend, or for yourself at funkymonkeyshirts.com. That's funkymonkeyshirts.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Superman didn't always fly. I didn't know that. The original comic book, Superman, could leap tall buildings in a single bound, but then he had to come right back down to Earth because he didn't fly. It wasn't until the 1940s when animators for a new animated series decided it would be too difficult to routinely draw him bending his knees, so they decided Superman could take off and then just fly. Okay. Readers got to see smooth animation, and a superhero gained a new power.
I like him better that he flies.
I
anyway.
do too.
That's pretty
You ever
cool.
have a dream that you can fly?
No.
When I was a kid, I had those dreams a lot. I dreamed that I could fly. I don't know what that means, but it is a very common dream. I read one time what it meant, and it was kind of weird. I was like, oh yeah, well, I got problems. So if you know what that meant, now you know I got problems. Fun fact for you right here on the John and Heidi Show.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, news headlines from somewhere in this world. Dateline, Peru. A video of a Peruvian ceremony where people fist fight to air out their grievances has gone viral. The annual fist fighting ritual known as Takanai... Let's try this here. Takanakyu. Takanakkuy. How would you say that?
I have no idea.
Takanakyu. Anyway, I've got a link to the video if you want to see it. If you know how to say it, smarty pants, why aren't you doing the show? Wait, don't take me up on that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that could pronounce things that I can't. I don't speak too goodly sometimes. But I do have a link to this if you want to see the video. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Wisconsin man was busted for allegedly assaulting a woman and then dousing her in ranch dressing. Wait a minute, what?
Oh.
53-year-old Racine resident Morris Thomas was in the lady's home when the two got into an argument. He allegedly threatened to, quote, smash her face. Then he grabbed her by the throat and pushed her against a wall. This is not a good thing. Don't do that. The conflict then turned messy when he snatched a container of ranch dressing from her table and started chasing her, squirting the ranch at her. What? The woman called for help after the brute allegedly tossed the actual bottle at her, hitting her in the chest. Another person in the home dialed 911. Police arrived to the scene. She was covered in ranch from head to waist, and so was much of the house. Thomas was charged with stalking, burglary, and skipping bail. So it turns out
he was already a bad guy.
Yeah, he's not going to get any ranch where he's going.
Be careful who you let in your home.
Yeah, or maybe he will get ranch. I don't know. Never been there. Do they have ranch? Either way, it's today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh, brought to you by SingleStudentLoan.com. A hungry burglar. He's a hungry burglar, too. He broke into Taco Bell on Christmas morn and cooked up some food with the restaurant's deep fryer, then laid down and took a nice little nap. He was caught on surveillance video climbing into the fast food joint through an open drive-through window. The burglar, who was wearing headphones when he broke in, walked around. It says surveyed the Taco Bell kitchen before firing up the deep fryer, cooking some food. So surveying, it just means he did it. He looked this way. He looked that way. He kind of walked around. I mean, surveying, it sounds like he had fancy equipment. No, he just looked around. Then he fired up the fryer, made himself some food, and then fell asleep. An employee who opened the restaurant that morning noticed food on the counter, called the police. The suspect, who was still at large, stole a computer and a tablet from the restaurant before running off. So, wow, why would you take a nap there? Like, you break a law, and then you think, you know what?
Yeah, you would think your adrenaline would be high enough that you could stay awake to get the heck out of there.
I'm going to just stick around here and take a nap now.
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah, you'd think the adrenaline would be pretty high from just committing the act in itself, that you could get the heck out of there on your own.
I've got a link to this moment of duh. It's in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, one of my favorite portions of the program, it's time for Fake News or Florida. The thing I like about this is I don't have to do anything. I read a story, a little headline. Heidi over here, this is my beautiful bride Heidi. She has to tell me, is this fake news, something that was made up just to amuse me and trick her, or was it a true story from the great state of Florida? Heidi, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Fake news or Florida? A man was arrested for menacing after he ran into a Jacksonville convenience store with an alligator in his arms. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
No, it's a true story. He was arrested for menacing. I've never heard of anyone. But if you're going to have something on the rap sheet, menacing is a pretty cool thing to have.
Was his name Dennis?
Dennis the Menace? Doesn't say that, but that would be good. I don't know. Menacing. There's a good one. That is today's Fake News or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And this is actually kind of a cool story. It's a neat story. Here's the headline. Helicopters are dropping off thousands of pounds of carrots and sweet potatoes for starving animals in Australia. So this is really sad. First of all, they had this brush fire. So a lot of the animals are smart enough when the heat drives them away from but they go away, and then when
now they can't find food.
Come back, there's like, okay, everything's burned up. There's no food. So they're flying over in helicopters and they're just dumping carrots and sweet potatoes.
I saw that. I think that's cool. That's very
did you see this online?
I did.
Oh, nice. It says the Park Service has spent the past week completing food drops. It says here the different places they've done it. I don't know where they are, and you probably don't either. So we'll just say in Australia. So far, over 5,000 pounds of fresh veggies have been dumped. It says the wallabies typically survive the fire itself, but they're left stranded with limited natural foods as the fire takes out vegetation around their rocky habitat. So the wallabies were already under stress from the ongoing drought, making survival challenging for the wallabies without assistance. So they brought this in. It says, we'll be keeping an eye on the native species to check their progress as part of the post-brush fire recovery process. Right. So it's a cool thing. And I bet these... Can you imagine being an animal? You see a helicopter fly over and they dump a bunch of food out and you're like, well,
Could you imagine getting hit in the head with falling carrots?
Oh, that would really hurt. Or sweet potatoes. That's even bigger.
Know.
I am pretty sure they don't dump them on their heads.
Well, how could they avoid all of them? There's
They probably
no way.
say something along the lines of, hey, look out below. Maybe not. I'm assuming the sounds of the helicopter is probably enough to scare most of the critters out of the area. But yeah, it's pretty cool that they're doing that. I've got a link to that story. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.